already got Udyr, and both champions have options to kind of disengage if they get jumped on. And Seraphine can always just throw Qs to face check bushes anyway. You have Hawk
He
shots.
very healthily just walk down towards bottom lane, and so we're going to see that trade of objectives and just a little bit of relief from the pressure from IG in their bottom lane, what they've had to deal with versus the double ranged.
Yeah, I definitely was concerned that YCX was about to forfeit the lane advantage by walking into the tri-bush, but thankfully he knew that...
Showing this right now. They get mid-push first, now they're just fighting, so that'll be 4 grubs going over to LGD. JJ's walking forward, has to lose the flash.
That's the Ash arrow, but they still have the Encore available. They're going to turn right onto Gala. They get this flash. They're going to peel off for now. Weaver's Wall from Rookie tries to cut them off. Mako's in, looking for the backline. YCX is the target, and First Blood goes over to Jeja. Now, can XQW, Climber, and Shaoya fight this one out? It's a 3v4, and they're kind of split. Trying to turn on the Jeja first. XQW getting a lot of damage. Climber flashes out and manages to survive, and the punt away, trying to save Gala, but it's not enough. XQW is sliding on them. He's astro gliding. Look at this Azir go, and now Rook is completely routed off. LGD, this is what we were talking about, Alka, while we were so damn excited about this roster, because they're pulling this off again. And it just seemed like multiple opportunities were kind of fumbled. But for LGD, I was just kind of enamored with XQW on the Azir. Even the flash looked a little silly, but you know what? He made it work, and he was putting out so much damage, and it just didn't seem like IG was being able to go blow for blow.
Try to get vision, try to get damage down onto this top tier 1. It's going to force the response coming in from Rookie, but how do they ever enter into the river?
Double engage onto Mako, but he had his ultimate ready to use again. Climber tanks up the engage. Here comes Sasa flying in, but the Ambessa, maybe the Shy can get some done down, but they just push him away and deal with him like he's a fly. And Jeja is still trying to get stuff done in the backline. Rookie aiding.
Let's go, Shaoya.
Oh, wait a minute. LGD are now losing on their front line. And just like this is what we were talking about for IG to make magic happen. They forced the opportunity, and they brute force down the door. YCX cannot rejoin with the rest of his comrades. XQW, the only surviving member, and what looked like a decent fight from LG, ends up disaster for them.
I don't know what happened there for LGD. They, again, weren't firing all on the same targets. It seemed like some of the misgivings of this team, they got a little bit too swept up in some of the hecticness of that fight. And now IG are going to find a huge swing in their advantage. They already were up now 2,000 gold because of them winning that fight. They'll grab the Herald, and they have push on mid. They're almost going to take this entire turret as well.
The Ash arrow was up before then, since they had tried it just what seemed like a couple minutes ago on that bottom tri-bush, but, you know, past the past. IG now taking advantage of their map control for now will pick up the 3rd dragon of the game, making it 2nd for them. And Arrow flies, doesn't get a chance for, given a chance to play the game or participate in the game. But now, as you called it out, 2-item power spike for Ambessa. This is where it can be really difficult to actually try and deal with her, despite all the disengage options you have on LGD.
And I want to talk about our push. Make sure they're able to take their recall timers when they can. YCX trying to find him.
Ult for ult trade, but the arrow's going to tag him. Encore is going to lock down the Shy further. Do they have enough burst damage? Yes, they do. LGD silence the Ambessa, and that's a 5-on-4 for now on the map for the next 35 seconds. Otacon is available, and I think that's going to be the force for LGD.
They can, but there are still some really key ultimates, and as long as IG can stall them, it's 25 seconds before Thashai is up and available. He doesn't have teleport. They're going to try and rip it. We talked about with AD carry Ashe and with this Azir, their ability to hit on objectives is very strong, but Gala is making sure this is very difficult, and now you've got Rookie and Jeja pincering maneuvering onto this play.
Yeah, Mako's trying to look for the backline right now, flanking for the left side. But now LGD dropped the Otacon, immediately turned for the Cow, tried to slow him down, but he is not threatened enough to try and pop the ultimate for now. The Otacon is actually getting aggroed in a weird spot here, so it is still at 7,000 HP, but will finally reset. And the Rookie is looking for a good flank with the Weaver's Wall. He wants to cut off their retreat pattern. He's going to cut off the minion wave for now, and they've bought enough time that the Shy is back on the map. It's still 7,000 HP.
There's an Azir turret behind them trying to protect. LGD are making a really risky play. Here goes Rookie.
The wall cuts them off. They have to funnel in towards the bottom left here. Jeje flashing away, trying to buy time. Rookie turns onto Climber. They take out the jungler. Now it's just a 4-man squad against the 5. There's the public execution, finds YCX. And you talked about before, Alk, if you are down ultimate spells on LGD, you are just sitting ducks for IG to punish. They don't lose a single man. A 5-for-0 ace, and the Otacon is theirs.
They should have just let the Otacon reset, and they tried to end the game. These were some of the issues we saw for LGD, which is, hey, they have a gold lead, they feel like they're pressured to try to end the game, and unfortunately find themselves
a heartbreaker for LGD fans watching this game play out, especially considering how well the early game was going for them. This was a composition that just needed time. It just needed patience to let the item wake-ups go further and further into the game, where they would eventually outscale IG. IG were the ones under pressure to play faster, but the fact that they were gifted away back into the game, I mean, that's where experience is going to trump some of the overzealousness of these rookies from LGD and IG. I mean, yeah, maybe they didn't have the cleanest early game, but they're not going to waste an opportunity like that.
For sure, and we were looking at the bottom lane very early on. Again, double range matchup for LGD. Not having that much of a massive gold lead coming out of the lane, and now Gala finishing 3 items. His items are a bit cheaper, but I think the fact that he is so far ahead of his counterpart here in the Ashe does kind of spell out some of the worries that LGD are finding themselves in.
Squad.
Okay. They do see JJ on the top side of the map. You see the pings coming out. JJ thinking that he's on a flank mission. He'll see XQW thanks to the wireframe.
The Vault Breaker kind of clips him in the middle there. The Encore is going to stun him up, and JJ's got nowhere else to run. Good patience and a pick there from LGD just as the Baron spawned.
The fact that they weren't able to get the mid-tier 1 away from IG is causing it very difficult. Some difficulty for them to actually contest. Now, Mesa trying to stay in Fog of War. Look at where JJ and Rookie are. They're nowhere near this objective. They're going to be coming in from Tribrush.
Oh, they're looking for the flank, pinching right onto the 5-man group. YCX tries to break up the fight with the Encore. Climber pops the ultimate as well, but they've lost their backline in an instant. And LGD, this composition has been fully broken by IG. Damned they tried, but it was just not enough. The Infernal Soul is claimed, and it could just be enough time for IG to finish the game.
35-second death timers. You've already got the TP in mid. It feels rough. LGD, those first 15 minutes looked so good, but it was 2 back-to-back fights where they made some pretty big mistakes. They weren't able to kind of accentuate some of the strengths of their team composition with this Azir, and unfortunately now find themselves down the barrel looking at a 0-1 start to the group stage.
Yeah, and if you're an IG fan, considering at the time, we did not know what kind of level Ninjas and Pajamas were going to be playing at, but then getting what we considered was a big upset over IG, then turned out to be, hey, you know what? They ended up being the first seed in the group, so maybe a kind of a snap check reality for IG, but now in this group, you want to be one of the first 2 seeds. You want to be making a deep run into playoffs, and having performances like these is the way to do it. As they find the snap engage, once again, cease and desist forces the hand of LGD to turn back and kite. Climber and Sasa trying to stand in front and block as much damage as they can, but I mean, IG, they got Baron buff, they got Infernal Soul, they're making quick work of these structures, and they're just going to move into the top lane to do it all over again.
Another minute and a half before that Baron goes down. They still have so much room to play with. A lot of waves. The mid and the top wave are going to be crashing around the same time, so they continue to apply pressure here. They need to be able to kind of close out. You don't want to be giving a lot of gold over, but you're 14,000 gold up.
LGD waiting for the time. Okay. You know what? He got a flash out of Gala. You know what? That's the.
We take those.
I think what XQW was trying to do looked pretty slick. Unfortunately, they are down 15,000 gold, so I don't think it doesn't matter anymore. IG gonna do away LGD quickly and swiftly. LGD do what they can, but it's not gonna be enough. IG win the first game of Group D.
Okay, so they start off.